Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another Humankind Let's Play. And last time we played a full campaign where we went against 9 max difficulty AIs in the game. And we came out ahead, wasn't so hard. We snowballed after the ancient era ended actually, and proceeded to end the game with a bunch of nuclear blast in all the AI capitals. This time we're going to be doing something a bit different. The game had an October update, which wasn't really a patch, but just a statement about the future development of the game going forward. So it means we're probably not going to get any major patches anytime soon. So we're going to have to challenge ourselves in terms of, having the maximum number of difficult AI. Been there, done that. We're going to stay on Humankind difficulty, but we're going to add a couple different challenge rules for ourselves. First off, we're going to be doing a one city challenge. So no multiple city spams. I think rushing for a second city is probably the best playstyle and probably the most efficient way to snowball out of the ancient era. But we can't do that now. We're going to stick to one city. We're going to be going after a speedrun science victory where we are going to be trying to win as the French in the industrial era. So Science Affinity cultures have the ability to research one era ahead. Therefore, the idea here is to rush to the French and have them research the last 4 texts as quickly as we can to win the game pretty much as quickly as we can using the other restrictions we are applying to ourselves, like one city only, as well as Science Affinity only. Now, you might think that going Science Affinity only is going to help our speed run for science, but in reality I actually think that it hurts us because there are a lot of good combinations you can have. You could spam whether it's money focuses or industry focus culture. Let's not call them civs, mixing up the games. So industry focused cultures plus money focused cultures, if you focus down a good combination of those with good synergies, you get a massive amount of value. Then as the French, you can turn your cities, industry, and money into science as one of the culture affinity abilities, and then you can just pump out science like that. So going all science every era for the first 5 era, it's not really beneficial because you lose a lot of the synergies. Regardless, if we happen to bump into a certain, era where the AI took the only science affinity culture, we'll just transcend. We'll lose a legacy trait, we'll lose a unique emblematic district, and we'll just transcend instead to preserve the science only affinity. And that's pretty much all we have to do in terms of the rules. Not too crazy, but pretty much 3 challenge wrapped up in one. A speedrun challenge for science victory, a one city challenge, and a science affinity challenge. And we're going to be doing this on a normal size map. The reason being is someone recommended huge for this because you get all 20 luxury resources, which means you'll get the 5 science related ones, which is true. It will be really helpful if we can get those 5 with the patronage. But I think if we're doing one city, huge would actually disadvantage us by quite a bit because we can't make that city that big. Like, we would need so much influence to get that city to take advantage of the map. So that's just out of the question. So we'll do this on normal. To make it a little bit easier on us, we're not going to invite the full 6 players. I'm actually going to take away one more. We're going to be doing a 4-player or 4-competitor map on the normal map, which is recommended for 6. Just so that we have a little bit of extra spare luxury resources. There's going to be some randomness to that. We get 13 of the 20. Don't know which one we'll get. We'll keep it pretty simple and just do large Pangea. We haven't played large Pangea. I think the only difference is 90% landmass versus 10% water. And then the Pangea is 70-30. Basically no naval experience here, which is fine for us because we're going for a science victory. And continent shape can be chaotic. I actually really love chaotic maps. Just like different coastlines, weird builds. Should be more fun this way. Climate can be the same, one continent, so no new world. We can have some islands with 90% water. Let's just do few. Like, you're not really gonna squeeze out a piece of land there. World wrap is on, and hemisphere, both. Everything else is going to be standard. Not going to alter any of the river settings or cliffs and elevation mountain settings. Pacing is still going to be normal. I don't think the pacing makes too much of a difference. Going endless, like I mentioned before, doubles all your early game costs, actually slows you down in the early game. And once you reach to a certain point where your industry is super efficient, then certainly endless will give you more playing time at the end. But I'm not typically a slow player, and I usually have about 100 plus turns to play in the contemporary era, so I don't think it's something that I personally need. We'll allow all victory conditions. It's not going to bother us. We're trying to speedrun it before all the other culture or factions could even get to the contemporary era. And finally, Humankind difficulty. That's it. That's all. Let's jump in here. Alrighty, so we loaded in here next to a river with some saffron, which is good for early game food. Good for farmer quarter, which benefits us since we're headed for a Babylonian start. So the first order of business is, can we find some early game science curiosity to pick up a little bit of influence so we can start building our capital right away? I'm quite happy with this starting region already, with the river with horse plus 2 saffron out of how many on the map? 6. Okay. Matters because we are going to also consider patronage. That is also kind of curious. That could be a good capital location, being high up for defensive reasons. But we'll just naturally explore and see what we can get. All right, so we want that, and then we will probably want to come back. There is a gold here. Late game scaling. And that's going to eat up all our movement. I could go from here to here, and then from here to here to here. Right, because I can... Wait, why can't I go here? I mean, I can go here. Is that a cliff? That's a cliff. Oh, that's not good. I'll get this one instead. I'll pick up that one instead. Okay, that's a third saffron. We need to see that. Okay, now we're just thinking about where do we want to place this thing. They're recommending us over here or over here. I'm not going to preserve the river as much as we done in the past because I think it's probably not necessary, especially for this type of run where we're trying to win early. So, where would I want my massive farms to be? Probably in this plain. I could also build it on this hill, but it's probably not that useful. If this is where I probably would normally build it, surrounded by rivers, cliff on one side, and then we pick up all the double yield on the rivers, 5 of them, and then we ruin like one river here with a farm to build out. And there's like, I think that one is a, no, that one's not a special one. That's just rocky field. That one's a special one. I can also build it here. It looks less than that, but once we pick up this adjacent district, it's actually going to be more than that. But then how do we want to build our astronomy house? That's another question. This is also not bad. This is probably the easiest one to deal with. We're going to go there. There's a food nearby as well. I think we can pick up a population afterward. Oh, probably could have picked up one this turn if I moved a little bit slower. Give us another refugee party. So you can actually move here. Summon him to go explore for us. Your job is to claim this city start. Alright, things are rounding out nicely. Decent amount of science nearby. He's going to try to get another population. Hopefully we get 10 food. Only 5. Alright, get us some more science, and especially more influence. We'll head this way. Population right there. Okay, we gotta move one step at a time. Getting too ahead of ourselves here. The next objective is to find 20 points of influence and claim a second region before we advance the era. And we're probably going to pick this region here because of the extra double saffron here. Oh, papyrus down here. Saffron's right here. And then this is a papyrus. Papyrus is a science one. +3 science on main plazas and administrative centers. That city's built. We should be getting events from that as well. Can we actually... We can't join them, can we? We're out of movement. We probably should have just gone somewhere else. Oh well. We're headed over there. But we'll stop here first, I guess. There is a food there. Our growth star is enough. We don't need to be the first one to move on to the next era. I actually need to think about where we might want this second outpost to be. Doesn't need to be defensive now. Maybe just here, pick up these 4 rivers, and then we can still build a bunch of farms behind us. Remind me later. We'll pick up 2 extra food on the cities. Narrative event. Another papyrus. Perhaps we should connect this side then. But we definitely want to perhaps rush the Tower of Babylon and get the early patronage on Saffron. Yeah, I think we'll eventually settle here. We need 5 more points. Someone find him 5 points. There we go. 5 points. And then we need 3 more points of science, which hopefully we'll get. There's one over here. And just as long as they're not both ones, we get it. And then, this one's 3 right off the bat. We'll still get this one. No need to say no to a science here. It's also going to translate to our first tech in the future. Population. Let's just move everyone real quick to see if we can still get stuff. And then we can pick our culture right afterward. Is there anything here? Nope. See if he can find anything. A dead-end cliff. A deer. So fighting this deer actually will give us some influence, which might be worth it actually. I'm actually going to move him back and make him a population in the city early on. I don't need that many explorers. I can explore first if I don't get anything. Right. So in this case, I got something, which means I can probably keep exploring. Hopefully keep getting cool stuff. No, that doesn't look like anything. But who knows? Maybe there's something here. Nope. I can still turn around and fight the deer if I want. And we probably just want to be high up and let them come from the river position for the first damage. We're also on the river, I do know that, but it's fine. And then we'll retreat back even farther. Let them do the same thing. Maintain our high ground versus river disadvantage, and then we wipe it out for a minimum damage here. And the main point of this battle was to pick up a little bit extra influence. 3 movements on him. So we located 2 more saffron, which we would also want because they would scale very, very nicely. Oh, we would want to fight this bear actually. Bear will be worth quite a bit of influence right now. And we want to fight him on where he's on the river. So that's a okay deployment. The bear's not stupid. Bear will move. Play defense. Yeah, he flanked. So I'm gonna move here, hoping he moved down. Even if he doesn't, we have a better ratio than he does. That damage really came through for us. It did register as a defeat, but it's okay. We basically weren't able to kill him, but we didn't lose anything there either. He's still alive, and we're gonna pick up astronomy for extra science per each population. It works very well with Babylonians, which scales off early game tech. So we're actually going to go and pick the Babylonians. And just to overview, as the science affinity, which we're going to see multiple times, we have the collective mind, which can push industry and money into becoming science for the city. Since we are on a one city challenge, if we do this, we won't have any industry. It means nothing will get built, but for at least the next 5 turns, we'll have a lot of science, maybe for a late game push. The cool thing about the affinity bonus is foresight, which means we can research up to 1 extra era in terms of tech. So we can reach the classical era tech in the ancient era and so forth. And we can benefit from that as the Babylonian with the burned philosophers, plus 2 science per research technology on capital. Scales really well for a 1 city challenge, because if you have multiple cities, it's not going to scale per city. But in our case, it is going to help us. Astronomy House is our emblematic district, minus 10 stability, very normal with everyone. And we have plus 3 science per adjacent farmer quarter. It counts as farmer and research as the big one, but it has adjacencies to produce science off of adjacent farmer quarters. So you want to put it in a nest of farmer quarters to get up to 18 points of science. And then the additional thing is the cities with this will gain 1 additional food per researcher, plus 1 science per researcher, plus 1 researcher slot. This doesn't feel like a lot, but if you think about it this way, if we have a big city with multiple territories building multiple astronomy houses, then your researchers can eventually match the food output of a farmer. So you could actually have just a ton of researchers giving you food and giving you a ton of science at the same time. It's actually really good, especially for a 1 city challenge. So for this in particular culture, it's going to help us quite a bit. Our unique building, we're probably not going to build any of them. Sabusa Questi. They are Guardian and Anti-Cavalry Spearmen. Guardian gives you additional combat strength when standing on friendly district. I believe it's worth 8 points. It's actually quite a bit. It's a defensive unit because of that. You need bronze working and copper. We're probably not interested in fighting early on, especially on a big map with only 4. It's a normal size map, but basically it's a 6-player map with only 4 factions. So I doubt we'll have any close neighbors. So early war is probably not going to happen. It's probably not worth creating a unit to march out so far away to do battle, especially as a defensive unit. All right, so that's settled. And the most important thing is to make this a city. The city of Babylon, the only city we will ever build. And now we want to start building astronomy house here. But probably not as our first district, actually. We talked about the nest of farmer quarter. If we build it here, you see we can't surround it fully because of main plaza, because of the saffron. We want to build it here because the adjacency on it next to a horse pasture actually, or horse, it will be a horse pasture. It will actually give us the science exploitation that we need and the food. So the horse will become fully exploited. If we put it next to astronomy house, it will be surrounded by 5 farmer quarters. So the first thing we want to build is actually this farmer quarter here. We'll be taking the expert policies. I think we will do this actually, yeah. Food into science, which is also food for us with the astronomy house, and then into industry. It will build a little bit slower, which is why I think I'll be pumping a couple population artificially into it. So he can disband here. And we're now a 2 population city, which will actually give us more science because we picked up the legacy trait that will give us additional science per population. And the first thing we want to do is probably pick up this horse. Although the luxuries are nice too. +2 food for farmer quarter. So this nest of 6 will give us 12 per saffron. So +24 food. Like food is going to be super plentiful with our playstyle. I think we do domestication into calendar. Yes, I think that's how we want it. And then probably irrigation. I don't think we have a bronze nearby. I didn't see one at least not off the top of my head. But anyways, we will eventually find one. We do need to explore a bit. We don't know our surroundings very well. So that's going to give us some money now. We'll still take it. So we claim these 2 regions, and I think we want to claim this one just for the additional saffron next. So here it's all about just exploring a little bit, finding curiosities if we can, or finding dangerous lairs. Okay, we gotta ransack that next. Like we mentioned, this is probably our next target. We already see the boundaries here. We probably just want to figure out what's over here. Mycenaeans. Okay, so we got the Greek. Well, they're not technically the Greek. The Greek is a classical era. Ah, we discovered a natural wonder, which gives us a burst of 30 science, which is very, very useful. And we're working our way on calendar. And you can see our science got a boost because we learned 1 tech, right? For each tech, Brilliant Philosopher is going to give us 2 points. So it might actually benefit us for us to, like, instead of doing irrigation first, finish carpentry, finish silly, because they're faster, right? For each one we pick up, we get 2 more science. We get 2 more science. So it makes these even faster when we get to it. So it's more efficient, I guess. I don't want more bears around us.
Off we go. Let's go.
Kirkloof Forest. Okay.
Will do. Follow me.
Nope. No more movement. We do have this nice horse available. Once we get that, we can get animal barns. I also would like that built. We also would like that, but no rush on that actually, because actually we should be able to pick up our first civic. We have 20 points. It should unlock soon, I think. We'll pick up the one that gives us 5. I think the how we came by to rule natural rights, I believe it's called. Give us 5 additional influence on the main city plaza. Wait, Nubians, what's the other one? Harappans. Okay. So we got the agrarian focused, the money focused, and I think Mycenaeans are expansionists.
Off we go.
That's the bronze. It's a little far. There's 1 saffron here and 1 papyrus. This is a pretty big area. I like this actually. I like this more than this. I think we might claim this region here.
Will do. Yeah.
Ooh, curiosity for next turn. We're gonna claim, probably make the capital somewhere on this rocky field. This will probably be our industry zone for us, just because there's so many rocky stone fields here.
Follow me.
Okay, we're not gonna go all the way up there.
Off we go.
Do we need to keep exploring? I mean, kind of.
Come over here.
I would like to know where things are, and if we can find other natural wonders, good bursts of science. Do we still have no civic? Not yet. Okay, fine. There we go. We want natural right for the founding myth.
Off we go.
Okay, I'd rather he get science or influence, but we can't pick now, can we? I'm gonna shift him back over here. Like I said, I'm gonna claim this region here. Papyrus is wonderful. And I'm thinking a capital here, perhaps? Get to pick up 4 rivers as well. Plenty of rock of stone fields to build maker quarters. So he's done. And to attach, I believe the first attachment cost is going to be 30. 2 turns. Not too difficult.
Follow me. Let's go.
I think we do want to go that way, though.
Over this way.
Okay, I think we're kind of in like the center of the Pangea, northern center. Gained yet another population, which is going to a researcher right now, which is not yet. This is good after the astronomy house comes up. Before that, not so good. We're not going to do that.
Follow me.
I want that.
Over this way. Acknowledge.
Sure we don't forget that. Ah, so they picked up a unit here. We got a warrior from that.
Charge.
I actually don't like the warrior here. It's not a free unit. It has upkeep. It's very low, but still.
Let's go. I'm on it. Off we go.
Okay, finally picked up some science. And more importantly, 30 points there. So, let's get the attach done first. Pick up their yields. And 3 turns. Why is it so slow? Oh, because we shifted one more over. Want to get these saffron online. And papyrus. A lot of things to build. Let's do this first.
Over this way. Let's go. Approach. Come over here.
A lot of strategic there. Because we got our first unit, I guess. No need. I think this is the only one I might pick up. Legitimacy. Go customary law here. And it'll cost us 25. Next turn. We can create our religion, right? We're gonna do... Oh, we actually discovered another natural wonder. Great. Oh. Shamanism. Because we're a one city... Right, we're a one city challenge. So we're only going to have one main plaza. So I think we have to do shamanism. So we're going to finish city defense and then go to irrigation. And then we're probably going to rush riding. Alright, they discover Lake Baikal. Good for them. I think this is a decent city location. It's going to cost like 74. Yep. Wait. Because it's going to be cheaper soon.
Let's go.
I'll have him explore. I mean, just because he costs 1 per turn, it's not going to be like disband him on the spot.
Come over here.
blocking us. I guess we go north. We have the warrior over here.
Over this way. Off we go. Follow me.
We'll probably curl down. Finish that district. I'm gonna pay for it. Hooray! Another farm. Still population 2 turns. We do that. And the horse comes out first, I guess. Picks up extra food for us and a little bit of science as well, I think. And then for these, I think saffron's fine. We push population up first and then worry about everything else afterward. Astronomy house need to come online. That's quite important. But after the luxury, I mean, it looks kind of insane in terms of how many turns things are, but I think it'll be better. Like, these will give us quite a bit of food. Not sure. We'll debate that ordering a little bit later. Let me pick up this first. Saves us 37 for the outpost that we want to build here. So in 2 turns, he can do that, unless we discover a curiosity before that, which will give us a little bit of influence, hopefully.
Right.
And indeed, 10 points right there. So irrigation's up next, so that we can pick up some extra food from the river that we're next to. And then, as I mentioned, probably rush writing for the deed, and also cheaper civic. And House of Scribes for additional researcher slots. And then we can play go this even. We can rush for this, because we can go into the next era as a science-focused, science affinity culture here.
Follow me.
Did it cost us no movement to walk through Lake Bacau? Because we went from here to here, it cost us 1 movement.
Let's go. Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
Off we go.
Yeah, I don't want to end up here and then having to step on river next turn.
Off we go.
Those are cliffs. Have to get up higher ground here. We go take this route.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Gain these vision first.
Let's go. Over this way. Come over here. Let's go. Off we go. I'm on it.
We need to discover like 1 more curiosity here. That plus 10 didn't cut it. It's still gonna be 2 turn for us to claim the next one.
Yes.
Unless we find something. Ah, so close yet so far.
Over this way. Let's go. Off we go.
I think we want the Strami House online quicker. Yeah, after should we just rush it? Yeah, money is useless for us. Faster we can get things done, the faster it is. That 1 population growth. Stubborn. +1 food on farmer quarter per adjacent farmer quarter. That's going to benefit us as well. We want that. +1 food on farmer's quarter. +2 food for farmer. Yeah. Seven turns. 6 turns. Oh, we only have 3. 5 turns. 6 turns. 8 turns. That's trade 2 turns there for 2 turns here. And we can probably get some money and then rush that one through.
Come over here.
Alright, got all the vision here. do that. Money? Ah, influence. Still good. I mean, we need to not only build this, but we also need to combine it with that, which is going to cost us quite a bit. We won't know how much exact. I think it's going to be a couple, like 100 something. So I'm going to move him back and add him as a population. Ah, here's the mercury. Here is the lead, the science ones. Quite far from us. So I don't imagine us picking that up until like super late game.
Over here. Off we go.
Ah, we found a neighbor. Call them the Green Faction, the Harappans. Okay, they're a decent distance from us. So to make sure our guys can come back alive, I'm going to start curling back now that we discovered a neighbor. Ah, they want to sign something right away.
You are as just
You don't
as
own
you are
anything
wise.
yet.
Let's
I mean, technically, we don't own anything yet either, so... No one has time to build up the artisan quarter. Ooh, encampment. Future independent tribe disappeared just like that. Join the city life. 105 turns. Just trying to get this done quickly.
over this way. Follow me. Will do. Yes.
Don't fight me. Oh my god, they got so many units. And the dyes are nice. Good for industry, which we actually kind of lack. But hopefully I can turn this into a maker's zone for us, so should be fine down the line. Still can't figure out how much the cost is until 2 more turns. Ramsack gives a little bit of gold, but not enough to rush this yet. Yeah, this is probably a better trade-off than like how many turns it would be to actually pick that up. What's the grievance?
Where have you been?
You attacked me? Demand.
Salve the wounds you caused.
He caught me? Retreat. I have no intention to fight him right now. Get everyone home. Let them join the population. Let them be production for us.
Over this way. Follow me. Over this way. Will do.
Ah, found the yellow faction here. Okay, also quite far away. Harappan's probably the closest neighbor we have.
Let's go. Off we go.
Money, science, and influence.
Over here.
Which is useful, but the problem being they're not done building. I can't add them right now. 80. Okay, and the river bonus will kick in if we start building irrigation. Add that. 2 more luxuries signed up here. Queue them up so we don't forget them. Now I think we don't need to expand the land anymore for a bit. We need to focus on saving up 250 to rush the Hanging Garden, and potentially 450 to also pick up the Pyramid of Giza, but I'm not sure if we can get there fast enough. We probably would need both these two to help us out. Okay, so we... 2 turns versus 3 turns. Three turns is fine.
Off we go. Over this way.
Oh, It's not very friendly of you. Run. Oh, we can't outrun them. They got us. Simultaneous turn. I should have had it on top of them. High ground. They can just take this though, and then we just lose. So I have to like stand here and take the high ground beating.
Let's go.
It's sad. They have an archer. This is the independent camp, isn't it? It's the independent camp. Oh, well, we die. There's nothing to see here. I thought I was still getting chased by the Harappans. We bumped into independent camp. Okay. I mean, that's the price of exploring like that. We just hope they pick up enough curiosities to make it worth. Hello.
A proposal for you.
You are
I have
as
nothing
good.
yet. What about you guys?
This hurts me, but I will
Incense
concede.
for money.
I can tell you that our gratitude is boundless.
It's not, I mean, we would want to trade as much as possible, actually. It'd be a good form of diplomacy. We can probably rush it next turn, actually, looking at the money situation. Hopeful.
Off we go.
Oh,
Acknowledge.
that's a lot of influence. 40 points. Carcass of riches. Hunted for the meat. We can use the carcass for other use, military, decorative, or substance. Militarize it for cheaper units for next 10 turns. Barter it for money, or harvest it for extra food. I am all for extra populations right now, so food. And we can shift one over. I'm gonna pay for this to get it done faster. Now I'm gonna start exploring how much food we can bring from each researcher. Trying to balance out the population and the production. As you can see, it's still 3 turns. There's not a lot of... See, it's 4 turns there. So we're gonna do something like this. Yeah, I think this will work. These cost 100 a turn. Do you want to get infrastructure online first? The river will be the most massive yield increase. We get like 8 food here, 6 food here, 8 food here, just from that alone, flood irrigation. So there's an argument to be made that we want to do this first. This costs 240. So this would be 3, 4, 5. We can buy the rest, I guess. Let's do that first. I think this will help us the most. And then we'll kick up the influence stuff.
Come over here.
Feels like we got attacked somewhere. Independent people again. Alright, we'll make sure we end the turn with the mouse on top of them. We got into their zone control.
Follow me.
Alps. This chunk? Not such a big mountain range, to be honest. Oh, speaking of the devil, where is it? Run. We're headed home. All units head back to the capital. Transition to a civilian life.
Over this way.
Free cities. Assimilation costs would be something we're interested in. but it kind of breaks the one city rule. Like the second we assimilate, it would be a new city. So I guess we probably never do this if we're strict about what we consider a one city challenge. We can still retreat.
Yes, sir. Off we go. Yes.
That's a mountain. Alright, only 4 turns to get back. We should be able to make it back without any issues. We never explored down here. If he can get back... Big if. No, don't fight me. Let me run. I don't think he can get back. No, 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 no. We died. Anyways, you guys get home. You guys get home.
Over this way.
You can get that first. First one to writing. Got our first science star. Melody for every occasion. Oh, the musician one. We can get overproduction by paying a bit to build them schools for music performers. Yes, we'll do that. Three turns. Yeah, we'll do this for now. See how it goes. All right. Big surge of food. I think we get our luxuries in order first. Also will help our stability. And then continue from there. Ooh.
Okay.
He might survive. Okay. That's our unit. Got scared for a second. I was like, how did we just, walk next to a unit? I want to explore this a little bit. Although we can't, unless we curl. It's not worth it. Head back. Everyone back. Take this route. Do I really want them to go home, or do I want to explore more? Maybe I just want to explore more. Going home is overrated. Let's get here first, and then we'll take this roundabout over instead of going closer to them. Alright, I got home first. Alright, the population's 1 anyways. Gonna be quite flexible here with where the productions are going. Music is a sacred art only performed by those with requisite winning. Shift our order a little bit. Agrarian star. So basically we're gonna get agrarian quite easily. We're gonna get science quite easily. We're gonna get builder quite easily, and then we're gonna move on with that. And the next era, the science are the Greeks. +2 science per researcher on city or outpost benefit us quite a bit. The amphitheater with 1 influence per era. It's a scaling building with a little bit of influence boost. Science per era. +2 science per adjacent district. Any district counts only as a research quarter. So that one's a little bit weak right there, in my opinion. There are no other science. We could also transcend if we really like our astronomy house, which I do, but we'll see what we need to do then. We're going to get our luxuries online, boost our stability back up. It's a 5-point shift every turn, 4 points for every one built. So that's 24 more points coming up. We'll be at 98%, which allow us to build 2 additional districts. And they're probably just going to be astronomy houses for the 2 other regions, so we can start scaling. We need to find places for that. So yeah, that's probably what we're going to do next time. We're going to end the episode here. Pretty good start. Don't really particularly love my starting location, but I don't hate it. At least for this main region, it's pretty good. We did lose a couple explorers. Neighbors, not too aggressive, not too close, should be fine. And we'll come back and continue to build our one city. So until then, bye.